And hello, everyone. I'm Dan Lutz, and I'm here with my co-host,
Tank?
and we're here on the front lines in the battle against the deep state. What's going on, Tank?
Oh, well, sounds like there's a civil war brewing down in Virginia. That's pretty fascinating.
Civil war in Virginia?
There's something brewing with, the gun laws, and, they're trying to, the governor there in Virginia, who's, very much part of the agenda. He's trying to enforce these new gun laws, and you have a pretty active gun community down there.
I would say so. Yeah, Tennessee and Kentucky and Virginia, all of these areas are pretty. They're all into hunting. Yeah, and militias.
Yeah. So I think that's a pretty fascinating sign of the times. I did reach out to Kim today and was really just looking for how I can support her in the process, to expedite things as best I can. And, and I was saying to Kim that, basically, look, I see that we're at a transition point. You have all the work that all these different groups, ours included, have done to put things in place. I mean, all over the world. She is, one of the questions I had, I assumed this, but she confirmed it today, is we had done quite a few shows talking about the MERS system, the Mortgage Electronic Registration System, right? And how this was registering your soul. This is really, they actually take, ownership, somehow with this registration for like your DNA, and they use this to traffic kids, and and it ties back to birth certificates and all these different things, right? And so I was kind of throwing out some ideas, which I do from time to time, just to see, if somehow I have something different that Kim hasn't tried. And she kind of basically responded. She's like, yeah, I did that when she shut down MERS, and she shut down Anna. So I assumed she had shut down MERS, but she confirmed it today, right? That these massive systems, which really what that should have done is really shut off their ability to even collect money, because you basically would take what the banks would do is they would take the mortgage, right? They would take it against your birth certificate. They pay it off, so they got their money. Now they just they lent you money, so now you have a house, and now you're paying back a mortgage every single month, and that money, every time that money comes in, it's just basically profit for them at that point. You're paying it for the next 30 years. And so my suggestion was, take that money that people are paying back in for their mortgage, and cut it off. Don't let it go to the bank. Just intercept it and move it another way. And she basically confirmed, she's already done that. You should be sucking these guys dry. But she also confirmed, she said that there's still, those in the governments and in the banks who are waiting for this windfall of money coming from these mystical Chinese elders who are going to swoop down from somewhere, and they're going to sign over quadrillions of dollars to all of them and make them rich. And because of that, that is still the obstacle in front of us. So after 2 years of fighting this nonstop, essentially they're still waiting on the RV, is my understanding. So that's why to this day you have groups out there that are expecting the RV this week, right? They're all expected to happen this week. Again. And it's just never going to happen, because at the end of the day, all of their systems, their quantum financial system and their, Ghost Rider apocalypse system and everything else they think is, going to happen, it's not in their control. You have one person in control of all of their systems. But at the end of the day, you do have the free will of man, right, that has to be involved in this. People have to freely choose to be free. It's your free will. So if you choose to be a slave, I guess you get that choice, right?
Right.
But I'm telling you right now, everybody out there choosing the RV, you are choosing slavery. Because, and not to be harsh, it just is what it is. So stop hedging your bets on something that's never going to happen. There's no logical economic way for that to take place and for the world to survive. If you do that, we all die. If that even were possible, and we all went along with it, we'd all be dead. It would take a year or less for the zombie apocalypse to strike. So, that's kind of where, Kim and I left off there. And she actually, she said, as humanity, we're damn near hopeless, so to overcome these impossible odds, because you're not that far away from a real cataclysmic, collapse of everything that we know, right? Because the world will not be what we think it's going to be, come April, right? And in this, it comes, and it's amazing. I just can't see this happening, but I'm not so arrogant to think that it couldn't happen, because it's amazing is that it's the indifference of these groups who have the ability. They're in there, and they're just so used to being able to figure things out and do it in different ways so they benefit, and the rest of us pay for it, right? Mm-hmm. And they are still holding their ground on whatever level. And I just don't see how they even have it right. In my personal opinion, Kim has taken down all of their systems. So I don't even know what they're hanging on to right now. I mean, what you're seeing play out in the Democratic impeachment effort is exactly what's going on behind the scenes as well. Right. It's pomp and circumstance, posturing, and and lies. Well, and somehow this is holding up. It's amazing.
Well, they have the conservative overwhelmingly won in the UK, right? Boris Johnson, right? You have the leftist leader of the Labour Party stepping down, right? Okay, he's through. So they're defeated. there's going to be such a big transformation, right, that happens in England and the U.S. at the same time, right? And they're going to partner up. We already know that they're partnered up with Japan and, Korea, North Korea. And the reason I bring North Korea in is because they also have gold. I believe this gold is sitting in Switzerland and in Japan. That was taken after World War II, that kind of thing. But that's also one of those royal dynasties, right? So, but they're all lining up on this other side, out to get out of this central banking system, get out of the cabal system, and it's all collapsing around them. So we're watching it happen. We're watching the whole collapse. But everything is going to basically be dismantled. That from the pedivore system to for the blackmailing, the human trafficking, the communist dictatorships. So that the people are going to be able to rise up. But we're seeing it happen. But it's like we're watching something in slow motion. We're already so far ahead. We're light years ahead of everyone. We're already, out in the galaxy and putting up quadrants and moving from, interstellar trade systems but back here on Earth, everyone is slow in this slow system. So, we've got to. Try to speed things up, and the only way that we can is by actually taking action, like you've done by creating this Lawful America site, and the reaction that they've had to the site that you've put up, right? They're reacting to it. That's energy expended on their side, right? That won't be replenished, right? It's we keep pushing forward. And they're going to basically just disappear. It just this time dilation effect that we're experiencing because we're already red shifted into the future. I guess when you go through these time travel systems, it's just like on Stargate SG-1. You got the blue light going by you.
Yeah.
Just to see it.
Yeah. I'm watching these. I am watching what's happened. That there's school districts standing up, and they're writing back, and they're taking a stand against Governor Cuomo. Because at the end of the day, you can't. What are you gonna do? Send the military down? And that could happen, right? That could happen. Mm-hmm. But you pretty much had played your hand, right? If that happens, if all of a sudden you have these groups come in and they start force vaccinating the school, Gardasil 9, right? Because this is a big issue. But you really had a tipping point, or a boiling point or something, right? Where you're gonna have to start to see, push come to shove, right? And you're gonna push the wrong person at some point, and it's gonna play out in the wrong way, Although I'm convinced that this is something we can do, peacefully. I'm not, if it came down to where you have to take a stand, it's like, well, I guess, what are your options? It's like, if you're actually talking about coming in to impose this will of just ridiculousness. What really makes me sick, though, to be honest, is watching it play out in front of everyone. With things like, what's happening in the government right now, this impeachment nonsense. It's like everyone ought to be disgusted and embarrassed. What are we doing? Right. How is it that there's what is the lawful measure to take these idiots out? I mean, you have, they clearly are in violation of so many laws. And it's public. It's out. It's not even a secret. It's like, yep, they broke the laws, but we have become so accustomed.
Yeah, but they've written a law that they're immune, right? Well, because they're in office, they're immune. I don't know why they're allowed to write a law that says they're immune.
Well, first of all, they're not. For anybody who has not read through the presentment that's on Lawful America, if you go through the presentment, you will see Congress nor any government official is immune from criminal prosecution, because the fact that they wrote that in there, they put that language on one of the statutes, the false statutes that they made, and in this, but it says that does not count when it comes to criminal activity. I mean, so I don't know what else you'd prosecute them for,
right.
But that is not true. That's a myth that is perpetuated that we all agree with, or that everyone thinks is real. That's not true. And even if they did pass a statute that gives them immunity, according to the Constitution, they don't have the right to that. That violates our constitutional rights. If you cannot hold someone accountable, in other words, if there's not consequences for people's actions, then there's no reason to stop doing it. Right?
Sure.
So that's why you cannot just give people blanket immunity, right? That's why you have 50 new vaccines created, after, they kill off 400 people in 1 year with the flu vaccine. And then 3 years later, they have complete immunity to create a whole bunch more vaccines with absolutely no way to hold them accountable anymore, because we're no longer allowed to ask questions, right?
Right.
They can basically make pharmaceutical drugs, do whatever they want with no regulation, because they're the ones profiting off it, right? It's like, I'm the guy beating you up, and then I'm the guy you have to go tell that I'm the guy beating you up. It's like, wait, who do I go to? You can't go to me because I'm the one doing it, right? It's like a prison system where the warden is the one who's like, sending people in to, take you out, and then who do you complain to? You can't complain to the warden.
Well, he could just put his other hat on, and then you can talk to him then.
I remember I used to be the superintendent of Bible school that I helped set up here in Queens, and I was also in the band. So I told the choir director I wasn't going to be there, and then later she yelled at me. She goes, "Well, you told me you weren't going to be there, but I didn't realize you weren't going to be there as a member of the band. You told me as a superintendent." And I'm like, well, if I'm not going to be there as a superintendent, I'm also not going to be there as a band member. Like, I can't show up for part of my existence, not the other part. But
are you sure?
That's yeah, I know, right? Are you sure? That's how it works. Yeah. So.
Well,
no.
I don't doubt that there's some cloning technology that might be able to be employed, but I don't know what happens. Can you run two bodies at the same time?
I can't. I do not have that. They don't make that available to people who evangelize a little Bible school, apparently. So, yeah. So I haven't been able to access that technology yet.
Yeah. Remember that one movie with I think it's called Duplicity, something like that.
Multiplicity.
Multiplicity. Multiplicity. Yeah, so that was a great. I after that I said, that's a great idea. I need more of me. Boy, do I need more of me. And then only one of them is allowed to go on vacation, right? As a perpetual vacation. The other ones all have to work. Something like that. Well, I could use it right now. I didn't even know I lost you there for a moment. So I could use being in the some clones right now. maybe one that doesn't have writer's block. You know, I've finished more of the website, but you know, it's almost like I'm pulling teeth to get the words out. I was like, oh, it's like it's slow. Sometimes it goes really fast and boom, 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 and other times, you know, it's slow. But you know, this is, you know, most what I'm working on now is like rewriting the site, and you know, but I got about 200 people now that have joined what I call the New Path Forward, and they're you know, all about 120 have registered for the soft launch, and they'll come in and see what it's all about, and going to get things, you know, starting to get have things move forward and build this out. So I mean, it's not meant to be, you know, over the top launch, but just, you know, getting things squared away, put some people in place. I guess called positioning. You know, getting the people that are going to carry this message forward. So anyway, you know, some of that is you know, kind of what I've been working on, but there's so much more to do. That's why cloning would be good. have some others. I still think we need to do a move over to, say, BitChute. Work on that because I can tell we're being, you know, really restricted here on what's on the amount of people that are getting the notice or being able to find things. You know, I got a couple of people saying I can't search for you. It doesn't come up. So, you know, just like I guess Lawful America, you know, it doesn't come up. Okay, they just completely restricted it. So, you know, people have to know, you know, that they want to come and see it. You know.
Right, which, you know.
And then people easily forget, right? You know, it's not. They have other things going on, and if you don't get that notice on your phone, you know, you'll get it to next time. Okay, before you know it, a couple of weeks have gone by.
Yep. You know, I remember, you know, several years back, my friend was a executive for AT&T, and he was telling me that text campaigns, right, to actually text message, you know, your entire group, it gets like a 90% response rate, right, versus like emails, which get about a 5% response rate.
Right.
And you know, I mean, think of how many emails we get now. Like everybody's just kind of inundated with spam. So I think that's one of the things I'm going to start to set up next is look at ways to send out actual text campaigns. Now, it doesn't really help when it comes to the, you know, expanding, you know, our current situation. But hopefully, you know, we can chip away at that a little bit at a time, and then also the people that you're reaching out to tell them anything. You know, you basically, you know that the message is generally going to land, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's it. There, it's more about you know, how to reach out. So email is one thing, but I think the only true way that we actually can really rely on things is using Telegram at this point. Everything else can be compromised in a way. I must, you know, it's a platform that's open source. It's people are able to, you know, see what's going on, and you know, the back doors are not there, and that there's no, and the encryption is there. So listen. Everything on your computer can be seen. It's not about that, but at least you get the notifications. Right, and if you just keep track with that, and you know, even what I'm going to be looking forward to doing is actually incorporating Telegram into this new setup, right? Right now we're talking about websites, and things like that. We'll have people that are going to register on the website. That's fine, but all the communication, everything will end up going through there because the emails we won't be able to rely on. When you do a blog, how do you rely on the emails making it? Well, maybe they do, maybe they don't. Email has been corrupted. But still going to use it, and see what we can do because it still reaches some people. But at the same time, build the integration with Telegram.
Yeah. Well, I actually, because the people that we spend the majority of our time with are really so well informed, like if you're following us here, you're pretty well informed, right?
Right.
Like we're not your mainstream channel, right? So
yeah, we have, and
so
I just looked right now while we're talking. There's right now it's getting to about 800 to 1,000 people see each video. Now,
right,
that's what that's showing up. Now it might be actually 10 times that. It might be 15 times that. 15 times it seems to be what I figured out early on was 15. I've heard 15 times is one of the other people that are out there that have been shadow banned. They're saying 15 times as well. So it must be something, that they're one of their dial settings. They just set it to 15 times shadow banning. I don't know what that turns into.
Right.
Maybe that's like, 80%. They just turn it to 80%. I don't know if it's by percentage or whatever they do, but yeah, it's actually an atrocity. They sent me a message to fill out a survey on YouTube, and it said, "Are you satisfied with the platform?" And I said, no, I'm highly dissatisfied. Right, and then they're asking why, and I started to type out. I said, I don't even want to tell them. I stopped the survey. It's like, why do I want to contribute? To letting you know what you already know what you're doing. Right.
Right.
It's not going to change their mind. The only thing that's going to change their mind is when these people are removed from their positions, and they'll be removed because they don't own the technology, and it's been given over to Trump. Now, it's still something that would have to be put into force and everything. It doesn't quite play well. The narrative on that is kind of hard to play right now, but it's coming. There'll be a time when everyone's being carted off. Interesting how things are shaping up. So, I talked with Tui a little bit also after our call yesterday. I called him and went over the website with him, kind of, showing him where, this kind of, gels in with other things that he was saying, right? But, it's just, again, it feels like slow motion. You get so much done. It's just like I said today, I had like writer's block. Like rewrite things over and over. It's kind of like, oh, I should say it this way. No, I said, and go back around in a circle. Well, I guess a couple things that are coming up for me is that I've got these bills that are due. Right, so on basically 5 days from now, I'm going to get hit on electricity and Wi-Fi. Food's covered for the moment. As I have to kind of shift things around, but I got to get that taken care of, and then 5 days after that is the launch. Hopefully, I can make it through, and the numbers should get pretty decent after that, right? Because it's something that is you can spend spend and then receive. So it'll be available and people can get it at that time and put it back and exchange it back out. Of course, it's all in the cryptocurrency world, but it's one of the things that I point out is like in the original countries relied on gold, right? And then they switched to paper-backed gold, and then they switched, to paper that's not backed by anything. And then now they're switching to crypto. Right? This is what the IMF's telling them. This is what the news systems are all saying. Right? They play both sides of the argument, but they push it that way. So there's a transition that is actually happening. I think this is a good timing for this, and I hope that that we end up with a tool that everyone is going to be able to really express themselves and be able to work for and not have it taken away, because again it's not going to be in a situation where it's like a security, so it's not going to be in that jurisdiction. So still, but it's the greater world out there will see the value in it. It's not a vapor coin, and then it's
right.
Then it's all tied in. Oh well, that's so I guess I'm maybe I need to get a day off and clear my head or something.
It's hard to take a day off in these circumstances, though, because you start to rationalize. Which I'm the same way. Like, if you take a day off, well, it's one day you're behind where you could have been, right? So even if it's not a fully productive day, it's like any step forward is what we're constantly trying to make. So
it's almost I don't even leave this this computer, right? I'm here most 20 hours out of the day, 22 hours a day probably. And I'm not even leaving the house. I'm not going anywhere. I'm not even taking a walk. So I should probably go do something. Just to clear my head and get things straightened out. But and then it's like I sent my daughter the Lawful America site and everything, and she said, "Well, get it done before she's 3."
Yeah, well,
yeah,
so I'm working on it. Yeah, duly noted. Duly noted. Trying my best.
Yeah.
Well, it's really crazy. I can't believe how much of this is still going on. I mean, this is like it's really insane at this point because people. I don't think people have ever been awoken on this massive of a scale, where everyone's starting to kind of wake up like, wait a minute, this isn't right. Like there's things that are not right here. And they're kind of starting to tune in, but they just still haven't embraced like there's a massive conspiracy to basically commit genocide, and you're part of it, and you're not part of the good side, right? Like you're the part that's getting killed. And it's everywhere, and it's something that they are blocking so heavily. Right now, I mean, right now they are every word that comes out, they are blocking. It's like we put two. Think about these words: lawful and America. How could you possibly block that? Right? Every single thing on the website is literally backed up and supported by the American Constitution of the Republic, right? Or for the Republic. I'm never sure exactly how to say that. The Republic for the United States of America, or for America. So, it's shocking.
Just redo the whole thing as Pizza America. Redo the whole site. Make it Pizza America.
Yeah, right. Like,
how can they block pizza?
Man on boy love is not blocked, but we are. How terrifying is that reality?
Yeah, well, it's a same reason why they label people that are constitutionalist terrorists, right? The patriots as terrorists, because they're terrified of us.
You know, it's interesting when you think about, like, there's the abolitionists, right? They want to abolish all trafficking, or, you know, and I don't know if that term just applies to other things, if it's just trafficking, but, you know, I think about this, is like, I do appreciate the radical connotation with that, of the absoluteness of it, of just being like, no, not under any circumstances ever at any time, you know, because, you know, I think about that, like, that is really the attitude that needs to be taken.
Right.
That you will not take my freedom under any circumstances at any time. You know, at the end of the day, whatever decision is made, my choices will not be, you know, do this or die. That's not a choice, right? You know, and that's part of how they argue this kind of stuff, right? They just are like, well, you can do that or you can die, right? You still have a choice. You still have free will. It's like, no, that's not a choice. You're not allowed to be in that situation, that circumstance, right? That's the whole idea of why governments come together, right? It's the reason why the Declaration of Independence is such an amazing, incredibly well-written document, right? It talks about how governments, when they take too much authority, you know, and the people have to come together to rein them in. Right. And in history of you know, America, you don't have a time. I would dare say, even during the time of when the Declaration of Independence was written, it was not as dangerous or as pinnacle of a time as right now in human history. Right now is the most essential moment in the history of mankind, because right now is the time where we either come together or we will be broken into pieces. We will have lost our right to claim ownership of this planet. I mean, that's how essential it is for us. And it's every single day, every moment from now until the change is apparent is essential. Because you have about 4.5 months. 4.5 months until the world is going to spiral into a cataclysmic downfall. You know, it's not a joke. And
I don't even think Durham is going to be done by then.
What's that?
I don't think Durham's is going to be his report or whatever he's doing is going to be out, or his. You don't think he's doing a report? He's going to go right to, you know, convictions or indictments.
Yeah, I think that is what going directly to indictments is definitely a step in the right direction of, like, faster than slow motion, right? But you're talking about a system that has no authority here anymore. This is the actual law. The Constitution is the law of the land. Now, the problem is people have not given an option. They have not presented an option. And I am determined. Every common law group out there, from National Liberty Alliance to the Republic to groups, whatever's out there, these different groups, we all need to come together and be like, enough. You know, when the FBI, I'm going after them next, because how dare they label people who reference the Constitution and the actual laws in the Constitution as terrorists in the same breath as people with weapons of mass destruction? How dare they? That is defamation of character. I mean, I'm going to look for ways to sue them on that, I think. You know, because I definitely have the right to. Like, you put out, you know, material that is blatantly, belligerently false, that you're discouraging people from referencing the Constitution.
Yeah, more scare tactics get people away from the Constitution. You know, right to bear arms. You have rights? No, you don't. You know, so you know we're gonna visit you and scare you.
Right.
We're gonna get out our
like,
pen and paper
you?
And we're gonna actually investigate.
Right, and do what? And draw no conclusions, because the FBI's job is not to draw conclusions or to pass judgment. Like, I will never forget, like, with Kavanaugh's case, when they started the case off, you know, like, it is not the FBI's job to draw conclusions or to, you know, assign guilt or something like that. Or, right. You know, it's like, what do they do then? Well, why are they investigating? It's like, I guess I under that jurisdiction, I guess I'm part of the FBI too. Right? So I do that sometimes too. I just look into stuff. Like, basically, that's what they do. Right?
I'm investigating. So if we're all investigating, we are all investigators. It's like it's like create change investigators.
Well, we need to really activate and find more. All the time, I'm always trying to do this, and I need people that I actually had somebody who's a human representative. He's actually on the Create Change website because he actually helped design the Green Lantern University. So he asked me to take him off the website because he went in for an interview the other day, and he didn't get the interview because he was listed on the Create Change website, right? And I thought, why? I mean, Create Change has been done nothing but good things, right?
Right.
I mean, we actually have people who are members in our organization, right, who are independently doing projects all over the world right now with no money. They've crowdsourced it, they've crowdfunded it, right? And they are, and we keep track of them, and we know what's going on, and we, direct them whenever we can, and we have agreements with them to fund their projects, right? And they're still out there like building organic farms in Ghana and in Denmark, and doing all types of outreach efforts to feed the impoverished in Hawaii and help people recover from the volcano, and Streetwalkers, Michelle's whole team down there, and a bunch of other groups like that are working diligently every day to stop human trafficking. It's like we have things going on all over the world. What negative connotation do you possibly have about Create Change?
Right.
It's like that just to me is like it's amazing. We are actually in a place where we applaud things that are negative, right? We'll pay for people. We'll pay a group to come in and take a third of our paycheck that does nothing. They don't even give the money to the government. It's an exploitation tax. It is a mafia tax, right? Like, do this or we're going to mess with you, right? It's like, who does the mob protect you from? From them, right?
Right.
Like, here, do this or we're going to come break your windows every week, right?
Yeah.
It's like, that's kind of, what you're dealing with, this mob rule,
Right. Well, that is the whole thing, even any of these tactics that are being used, either like I say, the communist tactics, right? It's all the same. The leftist tactics. It's always about intimidation, threats of violence. Antifa, what are they doing? They're threatening violence. Even though their threats are starting off with, we're throwing milkshakes at you that we put cement in, right? It's all about intimidation, right? We're gonna ratchet this up. We're starting with milkshakes, and then they'll be talking about acid, right? They'll be talking about the next horrible thing that they want to do to get people afraid of them, and then people will see them, and then they'll react. They'll literally fight, which is the purpose, right? Is get people to fight.
Well, it's a fine line. It's a fine line. I get it. See, because I have the same. I have a similar attitude. Like, I'm always trying to spark people to fight too. I don't want them to get violent, but I certainly want them to stand up for themselves. I certainly am trying to present an option that you do not have to take this line down anymore. You do not have to sit back and wait for someone to hopefully you get rescued. In the midst of the chaos, it's like, no, you are going to be responsible for or not. You are going to contribute to change the world.
Well, what happened to your voice?
I don't know. Can you hear me?
Yeah, well, you definitely, it was very much distorted at the moment.
All right, am I okay now?
You're much louder. I don't know what happened. But
sorry about that.
It's okay. It's okay that you're louder. It's just that, it's just much different.
Yeah, but long story short, I'm just looking at, this, lawful America. We're very clear on the pathway forward to organize everybody. This has always been what, was part of the plan with the Guardian of Camelot, right? So we want to expand the influence and the and the actual scope of things that we talk about, we are considerate of with the Guardian Camel Out Association. And that doesn't mean that we are going to force anything. It means more people need to be involved so their voice can be heard, right? The more people that are contributing, the more complete of a picture of humanity we become. Right. And that's what we have to represent right now is what does humanity look like? Is humanity this perverse version of, limited lifespan? You have to accept all types of perverse, strained sexuality, right? You're gonna have a transgender couple with a little boy and a little girl, and somehow that little boy and little girl, God got it wrong, so they're gonna change both the sexes on the little boy and the little girl. That's out there. That's happening, right? Before they're 10 years old, they're gonna change the gender of these kids. They're going to give them drugs to block their puberty, and they're going to give them drugs to, basically take away any sexual desire they have, right?
Then they'll just do that out of everyone going to school. They'll get that. So we block everybody's urges to have sex, right? And then later, when you're an adult, you can decide what you want to be, right?
By then. In the most essential time of your development, everyone will turn into these androgynous blobs of of nothing, because you know what? Testosterone is what keeps, T2 testosterone is what makes men muscular and shaped where they are, right? So if you block that, what do you have? Well, you have this kind of, weak version of men, right? So you don't have men being men, right? And then you don't have women being women.
Right.
Or wanting to attract men, because who cares? They're just might as well just go be with whatever it is you're looking for, safety or whatever. And then we become this kind of budget version of designer human manufacturing, right? We decide what we want, and everybody becomes the same.
Yeah, become a Dalek.
A what?
A Dalek.
I don't know the term.
Doctor Who.
Oh, gotcha.
It's the Daleks or a species that basically they ended up just being encased in this tank that they roll around in, right? And it's just inside. It's just basically a blob with an eye, right? But they're encased in this body that's like a tank, and all emotion was suppressed, right? And all that they go around is saying one thing is destroy, destroy, destroy. I think that's what they say, or something like that. Disintegrate. That's what they say. Disintegrate. They have a ray gun, right? And then they just go around disintegrating things. And they spread across the galaxy. So,
I mean, that's a kind of the nothing, right?
The nothing.
From the Never-Ending Story, right? It's the nothing. It's it's Pat from Saturday Night Live. It's all these different ways they've tried to make us conform to, oh, you're evil because you have sexual desire, or up in Washington, they were in Seattle, they were saying putting up signs that said straight sex is rape. What the hell is going on? I mean, and everyone just wants to maintain status quo. They don't want to rock the boat. They don't want to say anything, right?
Right.
But right now, there's 100,000 people that are in these anti-vax groups that are homeschooling their kids right now. Now, I bet you that's the tip of the iceberg. Now, we have got to find ways across these boundaries to start notifying people, because there has to be a stand. And right now, January 1st, 2020, in New York State, they are mandating this Gardasil vaccine for our kids. And I know what it does. And I'm like, what in the hell is going to happen? Because it is a terrifying, to be honest, I thought about it. If I had to homeschool my kids, I don't even think I can keep up with where my sons are in math. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do.
Right.
But I'll tell you what, they'll be much more educated than the lemmings that are just going to school because that's what you're told to do. And then I can think of a million different ways my kids could do amazing things without ever being involved in a school. And if they try to mandate this, it is going to be a nightmare. I mean, it is a nightmare just think about it.
Well, they're trying it, definitely. So it's move out of those states. I don't. That's what I told my daughter, and she doesn't want to move. Yeah,
I absolutely refuse to move out of a state. I refuse to move anywhere because they are wrong, right? Why should I have to move because they're breaking the law? Why should I have to move because they don't know the actual Constitution? Why should we've already fought this fight. Our forefathers have set this up so that I can be free, so that I have a voice. So you can't tell me I can't speak up. So you can't tell me I can't protest. So you can't tell me that I can't decide about the care, custody, and control of my children. You cannot do that. That is what it means to be an American, right? Screw them that they think they're going to tell me I got to move because they're in. Cuomo actually said this. He said the conservatives have no place living in New York. How dare he? How dare he make a statement like that?
Right.
That guy should. That day, the militia should have shown up to take him out.
Yeah. You mean by what do you mean by take him out?
I mean, take him out of office. He needs to be taken out of office.
Just to be clear,
Yeah.
what you're saying. So.
Yeah. I mean, look. I don't know how that plays out, but if it comes down to this man is committing crimes against humanity, that's a fact. That is the very definition of a crime against humanity are the laws that he's passing.
Right.
So the option is actually that he be hung up, right, in the middle of town so that everyone sees that he's a traitor. So now that is not a radical idea. That's the law. What's radical is that they want us to acquiesce and suck it up, take it on the chin, and do nothing. That's radical.
Right.
What I'm doing is what you do. You have to protect your family at some point. You have to find a way.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah. Sorry, that's all about my mind.
Yeah, I just noticed my dog is here. He's expressing his urge to leave the house.
Well, I guess we're over that, huh?
I guess it's a good time to have a break from this. Yeah. So, but I guess the only thing other than subscribe and share, please go to www.g1wga.love and express some love for the program by giving a donation. It's going to the membership thing, and choose one of the selections there. That would be very helpful at this time. But besides that, we'll be back tomorrow.
Right. Thank you, Dan. Have a good night, everybody. Go fight win.
All right.